Hi, my name is Fifunmi Ogundipe, and I am enrolled in Innisdale Secondary School's Integrated Arts 2020/2021 class. With COVID restrictions resulting in an online showcase this year, I will use this video to spread awareness to pressing issues about global warming and its impact on our glaciers. When I was 8 years old, learning that my favorite animal, the polar bear, was classified as endangered and now is vulnerable due to its declining population, I've been fascinated with global warming and what it means. Watching documentaries such as Blackfish pushed me to learn more about animals in the wild, specifically those living in cold habitats. My showcase's goal isn't just to portray images relating to climate change, but I want to illustrate the adverse effects of human greed and control. I've always found it intriguing how humans interact with the environment and wildlife, and this project gave me the incentive to learn more. My showcase focuses heavily on wildlife and human response. I've chosen to present it through multiple paintings varying in size and materials. As a visual artist specializing in acrylic on canvas, I will explore painting on wood for the first time. I will highlight the melting glaciers, how they affect humanity and wildlife, and what we can do to prevent further disaster. This painting is titled Mums and is acrylic on canvas. It is one of my 4 16 by 20 inch paintings and depicts chrysanthemums in different life stages in the rain. A common trait that is seen in each canvas is the presence of water. It was essential to show water since my theme has a lot to do with water. To relate this topic to Canadians, I looked into how Canada's ecosystem has been affected by glaciers melting. I learned that the continuous melting of Arctic glaciers provides animals and plant life with fresh water, nurtures Canada's soil, and keeps underwater reserves filled. This is quite a beneficial result, however, this isn't to say the excessive melting we're experiencing today is good. I painted multiple chrysanthemums because they represent longevity and happiness. Expressly, white chrysanthemums represent loyalty and devoted love, while yellow chrysanthemums represent neglected love and sorrow. These meanings felt appropriate to my theme, and I didn't choose a flower native to Canada because that also brings in a worldwide view. This series of small wooden paintings is titled Deforestation. It is acrylic on wood and is one of 5 9-panel group paintings. Although my central theme focuses on the glaciers, I also wanted to touch on other areas that fall under the umbrella that is humanity's environmental impact. As the name implies, I tell a story about a tree's life cycle used for lumber. This next set of paintings is a mini group titled Arctic Significance, and it is acrylic on wood as well. I made this mini group because my canvas paintings delves more into the theme of climate change's impact on melting ice and snow, but I also wanted to include this topic in the small wooden paintings as well. This series is titled Nigerian Culture and is acrylic on wood. This group's meaning is to show how different cultures can act on similar desires and motives, resulting in an accumulation of money and greed. I chose to show Nigerian culture because my family is Nigerian, and although there are many differences between any two cultures, there are also many similarities. In this panel, the first 3 boards are based on rural Nigerian civilians, that is, the villagers, women, and animals. The middle boards are about innovations and the repercussions. This includes pollution, its effect on young children, and image landmarks. The bottom 3 showcases Nigeria's beauty. This is a 9 by 12 inch painting titled Helping Hand and is acrylic on canvas. My theme has many somber facts with few positives involved, and to include hope and positivity in this theme, I included paintings with good messages. This painting is one of them. The meaning is relatively straightforward and is about how small actions, such as using less water by turning off the tap when you brush your teeth, can go a long way when it comes to water waste and consumption. This is another 16 by 20 inch painting titled Rising Waters and is acrylic on canvas. Depicted as a young girl gazing at a tornadic waterspout. The meaning behind this painting is about how one of the consequences of melting glaciers is rising seashores. Due to how fast the globe is warming, all the melting ice and snow will cause shoreline erosion worldwide. In addition to this, the irregularity of the ocean's temperature will cause intense and more common storms. I painted a little girl to represent innocence and youth and how future generations will have to live in a world previous generations had a hand in destroying. Next is another 9-panel group titled Pollution, which is acrylic on wood. Pollution is a constant theme and present in climate change and every themed group I made. To demonstrate that, I painted the 3 far left boards depicting water pollution, the 3 top boards as land pollution, and the 3 bottom boards as air pollution. Included are animals and children being affected by the pollution because that shows that this is a problem that can carry on beyond current day. This group is titled Wildlife and is acrylic on wood. Like the pollution group, I painted different areas of wildlife treatment. The top 3 boards are about how animals can be seen as purely for human gain and benefit. That can be rhinos being hunted to extinction because their horns are coveted, or orcas and elephants being held in captivity for entertainment. The 3 middle boards are about how our actions as humans can lead to the loss of habitats for countless of animals, and the bottom boards are about how fatal pollution can be for them. This is an 11 by 14 inch painting titled Fatal and is acrylic on canvas. Unlike the other paintings, this particular painting is based on a documentary I have seen quite a few times named Blackfish. It is about the captivity and mistreatment of orcas in SeaWorld and was released in 2013. Painted are 2 orcas in the wild. I painted more than one because they are very social animals. When in captivity, they are so constrained in unhealthy interactions with their kind that I thought it would be essential to show how strong their sense of community really is. I named it Fatal because of the amount of orca and trainer deaths documented with orcas' captivity. That is another reason why I depicted them in the wild, because they are seen as unstable killers in captivity, whereas in the wild, there have been no fatal attacks on humans documented. This is the final panel group painting. It is titled Industrialization / Corporate Greed and is acrylic on wood. I separated this group into 3 groups vertically. The first row is about past and old living. I made the color palette black and white and used old photos as a reference. The middle row is about greed and control. The woman at the top is at a sweatshop, and the hand controlling the doll with marionette strings represents the hold significant companies have over vulnerable people. The last row is about change and the selfishness that comes with development and new opportunities. This 16 by 20 inch painting is titled Vulnerable and is acrylic on canvas. The idea for this painting was part of the reason why I chose my theme in the first place. Because of climate change, polar bear populations have been declining and will continue to decline, such that it is predicted that they will lose 30% of their population by 2050. Loss of ice and snow has been such a problem for them that they have had to resort to traveling south in attempts to find more ground and food. Of course, the title is taken from their conservation status. This last 16 by 20 inch painting is titled The Place Where the Ice Never Melts and is acrylic on canvas. The title is the name of a marine protected area in Canada, and the Inuktitut meaning is the place where the ice never melts. This is another painting with a positive message behind it. This area is designated for interim protection and limits human activities there for 5 years. This painting is made up of 2 2x4 feet plywood boards and is acrylic on wood. It is titled Existing to Extinction and depicts polar bear tracks slowly disappearing from one end to another. The tracks are not to scale, they are about 5 centimeters short in diameter. The meaning of this piece is connected with the declining polar bear populations. It is a simple visual representation, but I believe simplicity is what makes this moving. Finally, the last piece I worked on. This large painting is made up of 6 2x4 feet plywood boards and is acrylic on wood. It is titled Perception and is a landscape of a glacier. I believe the size and image are what brings my showcase presentation together. It is a visual representation of the main issue I am displaying and shows that something seemingly insignificant and distant is a bigger deal than we might believe and affects us more than we realize. Regarding my setup, I wanted to create an Arctic themed display, and the walls of my basement fit that really well. I used cardboard boxes strategically placed on the sectional to create a place for the paintings to rest. On the ground, I put the polar bear tracks because it made the most sense to me. The only issue was the location of the landscape. I planned to place it where the tracks started. However, I ran into some space issues and had to resort to resting it against the wall. Although I had no intention of taking integrated in grade 9, I am glad I was able to participate in this program. Not only did I learn more about my skills as an artist, but I was also able to use them to give back into the community. I've never painted as much as I did during this program, and even though the sheer quantity of what I painted for this showcase was incredibly intimidating, sometimes I had fun. Thank you for taking the time to watch my showcase presentation.